That looks like it's recording to me.
And then this one.
I'm not tech savvy. And then what's the button?
Button, see at the front here.
This one?
No, at the bottom. That one of the
Oh, I
red
see.
dots,
This one?
aye.
It's not great when you've got nails in it.
Aye.
That is,
Where's
should be us now, shouldn't it?
that?
Right, cool. So, I am Chelsea and I'm here with Sanj.
Yep. Hello.
And we are going to be doing a podcast today about the latest campaign to be launched by the charity Stay Up Late. They have now spread into Scotland to try and support people with disabilities to be able to socialise, especially evening events, so kind of past 9 o'clock, and how can we better support people with disabilities to have a gallus night out too. So I suppose we'll start off with the Stay Up Late campaign. So they've started in Scotland. They've got ambitions to roll out staff training for people who work in venues which might host gigs and things like that. And it's all about trying to make more of an inclusive environment for people with disabilities. But then even in saying that, you've obviously got the people who have physical disabilities and need support in that respect, and then people who have kind of need mental support in order to be able to socialise and be in those kind of environments. So do you want to just kind of talk a wee bit, Sanj, about your experience of accessing kind of nights out and things like that, and your involvement in trying to diversify the scene?
Well, I had quite a mixed kind of night out scene. Because obviously when I was like during school, I kind of missed out, like kind of 5th and 6th when people started to go out. I didn't really get that, so like I couldn't really go out because I didn't have the kind of support there. So I did feel like in high school I did miss out on the kind of 6 years starting to go out and drinking, the usual thing that everybody else goes through. I kind of missed out on that. But then when I got to uni, first year uni, it kind of helped. I started to get more hours and stuff, and just a bit more confident in myself to go out and stuff. So I went on a few night outs at uni. But then it probably started off with like going to gigs, because I went to my first gig, I think I was about 15, I went to Tea in the Park with my support carer. So that was really good. That was kind of my first experience going, like socialising like that by myself, kind of without parents or whatever. So that was a really good day. And then obviously at uni, that's kind of when I started getting more support hours. So when I was at school I was only getting like a Saturday, but then after that when I started getting to uni it was like 30 hours a week, so I kind of had more time to do what I wanted to do, kind of do my own thing. Because obviously I can't really go out with support. So like if I want to go out a random night, I don't have support, I don't really have that option. So it's good just to have that hours and just be able to freely go out on my own, really, to be honest.
So obviously you spoke about getting those support hours and that's really fundamental in your ability to get out and socialise, but there seems to be a real issue with when those support hours finish. So support workers tend to work until maybe 10 o'clock at night, whereas a night out, I mean, I know as having studied and lived in Glasgow my whole life that the doors don't even open on most nightclubs until 10 o'clock. So you are, by the very situation that you find yourself in, unable to take part in those kind of socialising groups, and that's really important for especially young people to feel a part of their course at uni, that they can get out and kind of have that downtime with the rest of the students. And Stay Up Late have started a campaign called Gig Buddies, which is about people volunteering to help people who might need additional support to get to social events to go. How do you feel that might work or might not work, and what is your take on that?
I think as a whole it's a good idea, but I think it would be more towards kind of mental health issues
Mhm.
rather than like a disability. Because like even though like the word buddy, it's as if like you don't have like so I'd want to go out with my friends, but then if you had somebody with you called a buddy, I think it might kind of be weird that they're kind of part of your friend circle, but
Mhm.
you've just met them. So I think that would be weird, the name like buddy. Because obviously when I go out with my assistants, like I've had them like a good few years, so they do know me
Mhm.
and they know like my pals and stuff like that. So for me personally, it's not something I would use,
Right.
but I can see where some people would use it for like mental health issues. I think they would really benefit.
Mhm. Which I think is a really good point to make, and therefore people with physical disabilities who are trying to access nightclubs, they obviously need their support
Yeah.
there. And there is also the issue of nightclubs being downstairs, or
Yes.
toilets being in other areas of the nightclub that are not accessible to disabled people. Do you feel like there's just not been that consideration for making venues inclusive to everyone, and is this something that we should really be having a conversation around diversifying the nightlife scene in Glasgow and broader?
Yeah, definitely. It's not really the most accessible like Glasgow. There's hardly any nightclubs accessible. I don't think I've not even been on a night out in Glasgow before. I've been like to pubs and stuff, but never been on like a proper night out. Because I know like the Cat House, so I'm into like rock music and stuff. But I think that's not even accessible. The Garage isn't accessible. So a lot of the main ones, yeah, I can't even get into. So.
Right, okay, and that's something that you obviously would be
Yeah.
wanting to access, it's
Yeah.
just a case of if you can't. And do you know if there's been any kind of conversation with those venues to make it more accessible?
I don't think there has. I think because they're listed buildings,
Right.
that's kind of like an excuse, like a reason around it. Even like the Barrowlands, there's so many bands that I'm going to see there, but it's just got stairs going up to it. And they just say because it's a listed building, then I can't get in, so it's a bit annoying.
And especially when we're talking about having a fully inclusive society, it's not only a shame, but it also just seems entirely unfair that
Yeah.
there's somehow an excuse for how we can segregate a whole community of people who should absolutely be allowed to enjoy themselves past 10 o'clock at night. And you were talking a bit about gig buddies, and even the name of it is a bit off-putting.
Yeah.
It's a bit childish.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
And also, I think there does tend to be a bit of a focus around you can get free tickets to events if you volunteer to take someone along who needs support.
Yeah.
But for me, I would be really concerned about the level of training that these people have to support, because it's not just about opening a door for you or asking you if you're okay. There are levels of support and varying degrees of levels of support that people need.
Complex levels.
Yeah, and also, do you feel like that therefore it's a kind of like a bargaining chip, like we'll give you free tickets to this event that you might want to go to, but you have to volunteer to take someone who identifies as being disabled, and is that the kind of conversation that we should be having?
For me, I don't think that's too much of an issue, because it's like if you're like an assistant, you're also getting paid. So I don't think it's an issue that it's maybe a good thing, because it might get more people involved. So like younger people. So say if I want to go to a gig, I want to go with someone kind of similar to my age.
Yeah.
That likes the same kind of thing. So if you're giving them free tickets to go to the event, then at least they've got something in common, so they can talk about the gig or whatever.
And you might
I don't
even
think that's much of an
make a friendship out of that.
Yeah,
You might meet
exactly,
people
yeah.
who otherwise you wouldn't have been at the gig,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't therefore have been able to
Yeah,
even meet a person. That's a really good kind of perspective on it. I never thought of that myself. And as well, there are obviously events held in various different locations which are kind of advertised as events for disabled people.
Yeah.
So we are having a gig, but it's for disabled people. And I don't really know that that's a conversation that we're trying to have. It's more about how can we make every event inclusive rather than come along to this event if you're disabled, but sorry you can't come to all these other events.
Yeah.
And how do we then, or how do you propose we support venues and events organisation companies to support disabled people to come along to every week events that they should be able to access?
Firstly, I don't like the idea of having events, especially for kind of disability, because I think there's one in Ayr that are doing a night just for people with disabilities. I think that's kind of the opposite of what we want, because it's making them more separate.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to have a night out experience the same as anyone else. But I think by doing that, you're automatically not being a part of the rest. So I think that's too great.
Is that just secluding
Yeah.
that group more than?
Also, I think it depends on the disability.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, it wouldn't really work for me. But for some people with maybe more complex needs that need like a lot more care,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, it would probably work out better. So it all depends on the type of disability, I think, rather than just pigeonholing disability into one sort of thing.
Do you want to go a little bit more in depth about, like you were saying, the varying different kind of, if you've got a mental disability or a physical disability, how you might require a different level of support, or how, because I suppose in terms of accessibility to buildings, that's much more of an issue for people with a physical disability, but people with things like disabilities which might play to the tune of anxiety and things like that, and who don't want to be part of crowds, they actually face much more of a barrier once they're in the venue and getting the support. So I think a lot of people think of the disability issue as being that you can't get to or into the event, but really the issue is much greater than that. Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about maybe the barriers for people with physical disabilities getting into, and also having the support there to accommodate you to go to later evening events, and then a little bit about the kind of support that we could be looking at from maybe training staff members and venues to support people who might struggle with the actual event itself.
Well, for me, like a night out would start off with like maybe a few weeks before, because I really need to plan everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to go on a night out, like it's not spontaneous. It's like 3 weeks in advance. So I need to kind of sort out with my care, like when they can cover and stuff.
Right.
So I give them like a time and stuff for them to come out, and then sometimes they can cover, sometimes they can't. When they can cover, then it's 3 weeks in advance. Normally I go out at about 6ish, start off at 6, then we get something to eat, then go to the pub or whatever. And then more often than not, it's kind of normally till like 12:1, my sport finish. So kind of normally leave at about 11:30. But then access wise, also I need a lot of help, so I need someone to drive me. So a lot of public transport isn't accessible.
Right.
So I need to drive, then obviously parking, and then obviously getting into a place that's accessible is quite an issue. Even like going on a pub crawl isn't really great for me, because going in and out of the cold and stuff isn't really too great for my health. So
Right. So these things all need to be considered.
all be considered everything.
Right. Anything else that you think we should be talking about in terms of disability and access to social life?
I just remembered a good example from the other night actually. I went to a gig at the Academy.
Right.
I seen the game. He's like one of my favourite rappers, so that was an experience. But basically, the platform at the Academy, you sit kind of in the middle of the arena, but then there's people around you. So in front of me, there's like a big palaver. So people were standing kind of beside me, and then all of a sudden these two lasses came barging in between two other people, like jumping about, and then they pushed right over. So then for like 10 minutes I literally couldn't see anything. So just two people in front of me standing. And then there's a big kind of argument right in front of me halfway during the gig. And then there's like beer started spilling everywhere, so half my leg was like covered in beer. Then I missed the gig for like 10 minutes because of all the palaver in front of me. Because people were barging about, so that's a good example of something that can happen on a night out.
How do we make them, not just how do we make it accessible for disabled people, but how do we make sure that they're included and can take part and are kind of respected in a venue, but both by the people who work there and the people who are also there to have a good time. It wouldn't be alright with pouring beer over anyone else, so why is that? But then I suppose it's on the flip side of that, it's good to hear that places like the Academy are offering that kind of initial support and letting you get in there are venues in Glasgow which maybe with a bit of support can be a really good venue.
Suppose another aspect would be like, suppose that can happen to anybody in the night out. So
I've certainly had a few.
So anybody can get like pushed around and
I've had a few
drinks spill, so maybe
drinks spill over me.
That's kind of inclusive in a way. So anybody else could have had that.
You need the whole experience, Sandra, so that we can exactly that. And I suppose on that as well, the Stay Up Late campaign's kind of slogan, if you like, is not special, just ordinary, right? And I suppose you want to be made to feel like you don't need this special treatment, you just want to be a part of it. You just want to be a part of it and feel included in that.
Even like some of these taglines, I just don't understand like why there needs to be a tagline. Like, it's just normal, you don't need
it should just be a
to make a big deal to make it normal.
Absolutely. And I think another thing that I learned in speaking to the guys at Stay Up Late, which to be perfectly honest is someone who has never had access issues to events or limitations on the times that they can go out and socialise, they really highlighted that not only does it impact then you feeling like I'm at home with a curfew as a grown adult who should be allowed to go out, and that you can't maybe access gigs for performers that you really like because it's got either accessibility issues or time issues, but also that then has a knock-on effect on your confidence, on your relationships, both friendships and meeting prospective partners. What are the barriers in terms of obviously getting out and meeting those people, but also do you feel like it is therefore harder for you to establish yourself in a social setting and kind of know how to approach those situations?
I'd say so, because obviously when you're meeting new people, say when you're out, it's hard to, I think a lot of people don't know how to approach someone with a disability, or they don't know how to. I think a lot of people might feel that, I don't know what's going to happen, like, I don't know what disability, so I'll just leave it, I'll just not bother approaching someone. I think a lot of people just don't know how to speak to someone with a disability, to be honest.
And what would you like to see kind of done to break down those barriers and open up the conversation? Would you rather people just didn't feel like they had to have a conversation with you about your disability? Because obviously you having a disability is one aspect of a whole human being. There are so many other things that they could be talking to you about. So do you feel that there's a pressure for people to understand your disability?
To be honest, I think I prefer people to be more Gareth, more straight to the point, and just ask me and not beat around the bush and not be scared to say something. Like, just say it. I'm not going to get offended. I think people think people with disabilities are easily offended.
Right.
But really they're not. Like, they'll have just as bad as the next person.
But I suppose on a night out as well, like if you're saying you're at a gig and there are obviously performers and everyone there is there to see those performers, that is something that you have in common that could be a talking point.
Yeah, exactly.
No one needs to approach you and say, what's your disability,
Yeah.
or make any conversation about your disability.
No.
And I think that's sometimes an issue as well, where people are like you're saying, I don't know what the disability is, I don't know how maybe capable he is, I'll just leave it.
Yeah.
Whereas you're clearly capable of
Yeah.
enjoying music, you're clearly capable of going out, having a good time, having a drink.
'Cause I think a lot of people get confused between like physical disabilities, like they see me and think like I'm kind of not maybe capable of holding a conversation, or just because they just assume because I'm in a wheelchair when like they don't know that. Normally a lot of the time they understand if like, so see someone talks to me like I'm stupid, they can mention uni and stuff, and then slowly they're kind of like, alright, okay, and then they feel completely daft that they attempt to talk to me like that.
So a bit of, there's obviously got to be a lot of barriers broke down around inclusion of people with disabilities, but also a lot more needs to be done to recognise that you are not your disability. You are. There are so many other things going on in your life. Like it's almost like you're saying, silly to assume that because you're in a wheelchair, therefore that is all you've got to you. That you're just someone in a wheelchair. There is no conversation to be had. That's a really good point. Yeah. Anything else that you think we need to go over?
I suppose maybe advice for people if I think the best night out I've had was when like I went away for the weekend or went on holiday.
Right.
Because I've been on holiday 3 times with my pals. And then I had like my assistant to go with me. Like for the full week.
Right.
So we've been to Barcelona, Amsterdam and Berlin. And then we've also been to Liverpool a couple of times in Newcastle.
Cool.
So they're probably the best nights out because I had my care like 24 hour for like 3 days, so there wasn't really that time limit. So those were the times we came at like 5 in the morning and had experience line over there. So
and is there any other cities or countries, I suppose? I never even thought that you've obviously experienced nights out in other places. Is there anywhere doing it better, doing it different, doing it more inclusive that you think we could be learning from in Glasgow?
To be fair, not really, I wouldn't say. We went on a night out. We went on one night out in Germany, and in Barcelona. Barcelona wasn't that accessible, to be honest.
No.
Bars wise, no. What was the other one we went to? Also Amsterdam isn't accessible city, at all really. Just really common.
Right.
So that wasn't too great for a night out either. But probably the best that I've been to, probably Newcastle, to be honest.
Yeah.
For a night out, I'd say for disabilities, because there's a shopping centre, so it's all indoor.
Right.
And then I had loads of nightclubs and stuff in it. So that's probably the most successful one I've been on so far.
Cool. That's amazing actually. Like, you just still get up and go. I think that's real just shows that if you're really willing to kind of push the boundaries and be like, well actually I can enjoy this night out. It might not be the easiest route, but if you want to go and enjoy yourself and there are things that you enjoy, then why not? I think that's a great attitude to take.
There's been a few funny stories actually. Once when I was in my uni for UWS, it was like the prom thing, end of 4th year. So we had that, and I was with my mate Ryan, and it was at the Mercure Hotel.
Right.
So it was like a night out and awards and stuff like that. And then I was like so drunk. So it was like 1 o'clock when we left. And I was just like, I can't even remember what happened. I was so steaming. And I was driving down the road back to the car, and I seen this. Apparently I ran over this guy, right? And I didn't know. Basically I ran over this guy, and he went fleeing, and he didn't even know. Like I didn't even know I'd done it, and then apparently he looked up raging. Then my assistant said that when he seen I was in a wheelchair, he kind of held it a bit. So that he didn't react, but I think it would have been a different situation. So I was kind of saved by the bell there. So he didn't react, but he was alright at the end.
Well, there you go, so you might get a few drinks poured over you, but
exactly,
you can also run people over in your wheelchair and nobody does anything. So it's like you win some, you lose some, that's the situation. That's actually, I also studied in UWS,
Oh,
sort of.
did you?
Yeah, it was a good uni, but I can imagine it's probably, like, it's got on quite a hill and stuff like that, so...
What one did you go to?
Paisley.
Oh, dear.
Right, because I've seen the Paisley campus is actually quite inaccessible.
Oh, is it?
They're doing a lot to make it more accessible, but certainly when I was there, like there was a kind of stair lift that went down to the lower level, but I think it was broke more than it worked in the 4 years that I was there. But they were getting a massive refurb to try and make it, I think, a bit more accessible and more open plan.
Yeah.
Because even things like small corridors, small classrooms, are an absolute nightmare.
Even here isn't accessible because if I've got a class like in a different building, then it's like impossible for me to get there in like 10 minutes. So I need to like drive round and all that.
And is there more being done, is there a conversation being had with Strathclyde as a campus to...
Well, I think there's
make
much they
them
can
more?
do because obviously the buildings are just so far apart and down hills and stuff. So I don't think there's much they can do.
But they could be, like, for example, I'm in a class at the moment and then, like you're saying, straight after that in another,
Yeah.
like in the seminar from the
Yeah.
lecture, but for the first 3 weeks we had to go to another building,
Okay.
but it was only because they hadn't thought to book that same
Yeah, the same
class for
class.
the entire duration of the
Yeah.
seminars. So really it's just a little bit of forward planning and being a little bit more
Yeah,
considerate that,
yeah.
I mean, surely these people know that you're going to be in their class
Yeah,
at
exactly.
least a few weeks in advance.
Mm.
Well, I'm looking at, I mean, it might take a little bit more thought, but
Yeah.
that is the role of the campus, is to support you as a
Yeah,
student.
exactly.
So I suppose that this isn't just about nights out, it's just about in general
Just
making,
generally.
making people's lives a bit more accessible. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for
Yeah,
kind of getting into your own experience. I know that sometimes can be a little bit daunting, and I'm sure lots of people have learned a little bit about what they can do, and also just how they can be a little bit more vigilant of the fact that you just want to be there to enjoy yourself too.
Yeah.
And
just try not to separate the issue.
yeah,
Kind of not make it.
not make it an issue.
Yeah, not make it an issue. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Thank you very much. And we'll take it, I just hit the same button. Do you know how long this book for?
I don't know how long it was.
22 minutes and 55 seconds. Is that right? Oh, that's right. I thought it was good though, because
Running the guy down. That was New Year.
No,
Was that like the New Year one we went out with?
that was like 3 years ago.
right,